The wind carried echo. The diner stood alone beside the highway, its windows filled with dust and old rain. A neon sign hung above the door, blinking unevenly. He could not hear it, but the light pulsed against the asphalt, and that was how he knew it was still working. Inside, the air was thick with grease and burnt coffee. He chose the same table each morning, by the window where the road could be seen without being followed. He sat straight, his coat still on. One hand rested flat on the table. The other held a cigarette. He did not smoke. The smoke rose thin and gray, curling toward the ceiling. He watched it until it broke apart and disappeared. Cars passed outside. He did not track them with his eyes. He waited for the faint tremor in the glass, the small shiver that traveled through the table into his palm. It arrived late and weak, but it arrived. She placed the cup down carefully, as if noise still mattered. The contact was dull and solid. He felt it. That was enough. The coffee steamed briefly, then settled. He did not drink it. He never did. When it cooled, it became easier to ignore. The motel sat behind the diner, a low building pressed flat by weather and time. Its room smelled of detergent and dust. He rented one by the week. The bed was narrow, the blanket thin. At night, trucks passed on the highway and made the floorboards quiver. He slept through it. His body still recognized movement, even when sound had been taken from it. He had once been a soldier, but had required listening. Later, there had been music. A violin carried carefully in a hard case. He had played wherever there was room enough to stand. Bars, train stations, street corners, where people did not stop but slowed. His hands had learned the work early and never forgotten it. The loss had not been sudden. It arrived the way rust does, quiet, unnoticed, already finished when you finally see it. First the higher sounds, then the rest. He had waited longer than he should have. By the time he understood, there was nothing left to recover. Silence was not immediate. It crept in, filled the gaps, and stayed. Explanations are for those who believe the world can be mended. In the mornings, he returned to the diner. The routine mattered. The same chair, the same cup, the same woman moving behind the counter, wiping surfaces that were already clean. She did not ask questions. She looked at him sometimes briefly, as if checking whether he was still there. Once, a spoon fell from another table. He did not hear it, but the table shuddered slightly, and his fingers tightened without thought. He kept them there until the movement passed. The world still announced itself. It simply no longer bothered with words. In the afternoons, he walked. The town was small. Closed shops, faded signs, a gas station that stayed open without enthusiasm. People passed him without interest. He watched their steps, the way weight shifted from heel to toe. It told him more than faces did. At night, he returned to his room. He took the violin from its case and laid it across the bed. He did not raise it to his shoulder. He only touched the strings lightly, as one might test a pulse. They answered with nothing he could confirm. His fingers remembered what should follow. His ears did not. One evening, rain came hard and stayed. He could not hear it, but the walls trembled faintly. For a moment, he lifted the bow. His arm moved halfway, then stopped. He lowered it again. He set the violin on the table. The case stayed open. The woman watched him that night from the doorway of the diner. He noticed the stillness of her posture. She held a towel in her hands, but did not move it. Their eyes met briefly. She searched his face. There was nothing to take. She turned away and continued wiping the counter. Later, he went back to the room. He packed what little he had, his clothes. The night was cold. Trucks passed regularly, their weight bending the ground. He felt each one through his boots. When the vibration came, he closed his eyes. It lasted only a moment, then it was gone. The sky was low and colorless. Wind moved across the fields without resistance. He stopped once, lit a cigarette, and let it burn down between his fingers. He did not put it out. A truck passed. The ground trembled. He felt it clearly steady, indifferent. He stayed until the movement faded,